Hey guys, thank you for tuning in to my very first Q&A video. This is kind of a 1,000 subscribers special video, so thank you guys so much for subscribing. At the time of this recording, it's actually 1,500 subscribers already, so that's super great. I'm super happy about that. Yeah, thank you guys so much for that. And now let's jump straight into the questions. Yeah, first question is from Fat Ninja. And he or she wants to know if I'm planning to add solar panels, and if not, what I'm going to do for electricity. And yes, I am going to put solar panels on my roof deck, actually. So the idea is that I will put the solar panels on the wooden deck that I already built. And the reason why I didn't just put solar panels on there is because I want to make kind of a hinged system so that I can fold them up and use the space underneath. That was kind of the idea. So yes, I'm going to add solar panels. That's going to come in another episode, but basically, just to give you a little idea, I'll add 3 big solar panels on my roof deck and 2 big and heavy batteries inside the van. So that's something you can look forward to if you're interested in solar stuff. Next question is from Tim. Tim would like to know if I have thought about security while I'm in the van. So in terms of theft security, I'm going to probably add kind of a lock for my steering wheel. That basically makes it impossible to steer the steering wheel or use the pedals down there when this lock is intact. It's not perfectly secure, but it will just make it a little bit slower for people if they actually want to steal the whole van. Then I think I want to include a couple of locks and a glass break alarm. I'm not sure if that's actually that important or not. One big thing that a lot of people warn you about is that they use some kind of KO gas. They kind of get it into your van while you sleep, and then you fall asleep really deeply so that you don't wake up when they break in and steal all your stuff. So you can install a gas alarm for that. So I'm planning to do this. And then for me, another thing that's kind of like a security thing is that I want to keep the way between the cab and the back of the van open. I want to be able to stay inside and go to the cab and be able to drive away without having to get out of my van. So if there's kind of a sketchy situation from outside, I don't feel comfortable there, I can just stay in the van, go to the front, and then drive away. So that's kind of a security thing for me. That's the kind of things that I've thought about, but maybe there are more and really simple ways that I can make my van a little bit more secure that you have more information about. So make sure to leave that in the comments. I would be really interested in reading about this. So interesting question. Thank you very much for that, Tim. All right, next question is from Sin SYN. Thank you for watching. You've been a long time supporter of my channel, so thank you very much. Yeah, let's start with the first question. Where do you plan on going with the van? It kind of ties in with the question of what do I do when I finish my university. So if everything goes according to plan, I am going to finish my bachelor degree in next year, in 2020. And then that's basically also the time when I'm done with the van and done with my university. Then I would like to go traveling. If you've watched a couple of my older videos, you know what kind of planning I'm doing. If I'm doing planning, it's really rough, more like a direction that I'm planning to do. So for now, and that can change, my plan is to go traveling with the van as long as I can. I will see how much money I have left after I finish my bachelor and this build and everything. Right now the idea is to go southeast. So again, I'm from Germany. So that would be kind of the Eastern European country. Yeah, like a couple of countries in this direction. But really, I don't have a direct route. I don't have a plan. And I like that. I like that I don't really have plans. But the plan is to actually use this van for traveling. Because I actually haven't done a lot of traveling with my old van. So yeah, plan after studying and the van build is go travel in Europe. We'll see how well that works. Yeah, what am I studying in university? Actually, there are a couple of more people who wanted to know that. I got a question on Instagram. We were asking about what I'm actually doing, what I'm studying. So I am studying game design. So I make video games. I do programming and arts and a little bit of a design. That's all the stuff I do. It has nothing to do with building vans, you know, it's not very physical work, it's more like brain intensive labor. I don't know if that actually makes sense what I'm saying here, but yeah, it's a lot of fun studying that. But this kind of van build thing, especially working like physical work, physical labor, is kind of a good balance of me working on my computer all the time. So yeah, if you have more questions about that, if you want to know more about that, let me know in the comments and I can talk more about that in the future. Okay, yeah, favorite place to visit in all my travels. And where would I go? So, favorite place, that's really difficult. I was in Japan for a long time after I finished school. I really loved Japan. It was great. I did the 88 Temples pilgrimage there. I love this pilgrimage, so I would say from that trip it was definitely the Shikoku Island where I did this pilgrimage. Favorite, I mean, that's so long ago and I think it's really hard to compare. Places are so different. I really loved a lot of places that I went to when I was in the US. I really loved Mount Hood, but also I really enjoyed Mount Rainier. I'm really more like a nature kind of person. I loved Yosemite as well, but Yosemite, everybody knows that Yosemite is great. Just like these really majestic mountains that you could hike around on, and yeah, I think those were kind of my favorite places. Okay. If I had the ability to go wherever I wanted without any worries of budget and time. So yeah, I told you that I had the idea of going southeast from Germany. And I have this crazy idea, this ideal trip for me in mind, that I would love to someday drive my van all the way over to Asia, Southeast Asia, to, I don't know, Singapore or whatever, and maybe go via Russia and all these stand countries in between. And it's not really a destination for me, it's more like a journey. I'm really fascinated by these kind of cultures, and I would love to experience all these countries that are on the way over to Southeast Asia. That would be amazing. We'll see if that actually happens. Okay, next question. Ooh, that's an interesting one. By Anzine, I think. How did you design your interior? He says he's using Blender, or he has used Blender to do that. If you guys don't know, Blender is a 3D modeling software that I'm actually also using in my studies in university, so I know about all this stuff. That's kind of a bigger topic for me about planning. I'm going to make separate videos about planning your van interior, because I think that's a really interesting part, and I think this question that you're asking is really relevant because I think there is no software that you can do these kind of designs with very well. A lot of people use Sketchfab, which is also kind of a more simple 3D modeling software, but I thought it just was still too complicated. For me, it wasn't worth the effort, so what I actually did was really just used pen and paper, drew it on there, tried to measure everything correctly, and drew all my measurements on there, and that was basically it. That's how I planned it, and that is working. It works out well. Yeah, I think that there is something missing, and we still need a software that does that really well. And yeah, anyway, I will talk about this more in an upcoming video. Vladimir Imp is asking, what has been the lowest point with the van project? Have you ever considered giving up? And where do you live while the van is uninhabitable? Because I sold my old van. Then what's the funniest reaction from people when I tell them I live in a van? And then from his daughter, she's asking, are you really this cool? And then from his son, he's asking, why can't people watch TV all the time? It's a random question, but that's what he wanted to ask. Well, thank you, Vladimir Imp, for your questions. And thank you for watching and supporting me as well. So first question, what has been the lowest point? So far, the lowest point has actually been the installation, I think. I mean, there's a video coming up for the wood cladding that I put up. That was really frustrating as well. I didn't think it would be that frustrating, but I had some really, really low moments there. But the installation part and the cladding, those were two really low moments. And then when I started working a little bit on the electric system, that was taking forever and I felt super lost. I felt like I had no idea what I was doing. Yeah, you will see this in an upcoming video as well. And did I ever consider giving up? Not seriously. I felt like I don't want to do this anymore. Like, definitely the feeling was there, like I don't want to do this anymore. It's just too much, or it's just too stressful, and I just want to have a break. That was a lot of times I felt like I need a break. That's just too much, but I don't have time to take a break. Really giving up and quitting wasn't really an option. Yeah, so I never really seriously considered it, but I was telling myself I don't want to do this anymore. So yeah, this kind of thing that happened. Where do you live while the van is uninhabitable? I live and work at my aunt's and uncle's place in a little village outside of Berlin, and I can live in a room from my aunt and uncle, so it's really cool to have this space where I can work and also live while I'm working on the van. That's definitely, I don't take this for granted, so I'm very, very thankful. Thank you, my aunt and uncle, if you're watching this. That is super great that I can do that here. The funniest reaction you've had when I told people that I live in a van? I think that's actually a tough question because I don't think there were actually funny reactions. For me, surprising reactions were actually that a lot of people, like when I first moved into my first van, I thought everybody would think it was crazy and weird and wouldn't really understand. But actually, almost all, or I would probably say all of the people were really positive. Like they either said something like, oh yeah, that's really cool, I always wanted to do this as well, but I was never brave enough, or I didn't really have a time, or something like that. So they all really liked this idea. And then a few people said, oh, that's interesting, a little like crazy, I would never do this, but that's really interesting and cool, and tell me more about it. So that was really surprising for me and kind of funny, because I thought I was going to be this outcast. I was worried about how would my university see that, the people at my workplace when I was in the UK, how would they react? But all of them were really like positive and supportive and interested. So that's kind of funny to me that I was worrying so much, and then in the end everybody thought it was really interesting, at least, if not really cool. So yeah. From your daughter, are you really this cool? Well, thank you. I don't know, I guess I'm cool. I think I am the person that I am on the videos. I try to be relatively honest and open and myself in the videos. Obviously, I think it's really hard to be perfectly yourself and perfectly natural in front of the camera, because obviously you're talking to I'm talking to a camera right now. Yes, I'm talking to you guys, but I don't see you there. So it's weird to not have somebody to talk to. So that's why I think it's hard to be perfectly natural, like talking to another person. But I'm trying my best. I'm trying to also show my weaknesses, show that I'm making mistakes, and try to show most of the character that I think is me. And if you think that's a cool character here on the videos, then I really appreciate that. Thank you very much. Then I guess I'm cool. But yeah, I don't know. I just try to portray myself the way I am, and I hope that works. And I'm glad you like this. Okay, last question from Vladimir Imp, from his son. Why can't people watch TV all the time? Well, if I was watching TV all the time, I wouldn't be able to build this van, or make these videos, or work on video games. You're watching these videos, and they wouldn't be there if I was watching TV all the time. And then TV is also not just there, people are actually making these shows. So if those people would also just watch TV all the time, there wouldn't be any TV to watch, which is paradox, but I think you get the idea. So if everybody always watches TV, nothing is created, nothing is there, nothing happens, and that would be really boring, don't you think so? So I think that's why I don't watch TV all the time. Okay, Next question. What was the main reason you started with the van life? Ooh, that's an interesting story actually. There's a little bit more to it. A short version is I always played with this idea in my mind and said, maybe someday that would be really cool. Because I like traveling and I like having this free. I associated van life a lot with freedom and traveling and kind of like minimalism. It was kind of the time when this kind of minimalism idea came up that I thought, oh, that would be really cool to be able to travel all the time, and with the van I could actually do that and it would just be super cool. And that was this idea that I had in mind. I'm not sure if that answers your question, but if you're interested in more of the kind of the story behind how I moved into the van and everything, let me know, then I'll do a separate episode about this, because there's, it's kind of a little story that I could tell. If you're interested. So Eric from Eric's Vegan Van wants to know if I'm planning to add an additional heat source than my floor heating, because otherwise it would be too cold for him. Yes, I am planning to add an additional heat source, and that has not been installed yet. I am planning to install a wood stove. I know, that's a very controversial topic. I have to make sure that I'm super safe. But I really want to do that. I think it's really cozy and I really like the dry heat. So I'm going to install a wood stove. So yeah, I'm going to make a video about this too. Because now it's getting really, really cold here in Germany. And it's definitely way too cold just for the floor installation. So yes, wood stove is coming. Look forward to that video. Yes. Question by Vals Cosmos. Why did you decide to do your content in English? Then, do you have any special plans for after university? I already kind of answered that question, I think. Then, are you living in the van full time? How tall are you? Do you have travel plans with the van in Europe, the world? So, why did you decide to do your content in English? So, I mean, originally the content was a lot for my friends and family, and I already had a couple of friends that don't speak German, so I wanted to make this footage accessible for them as well. So I thought, let's do it in English. I think my English is good enough to do that, and then I thought I can reach more people with it, so I thought English would be the right decision. I don't know, so far I'm still happy with this decision, because now I can see where from all over the world people are watching from. That's really cool, and I think I wouldn't have the same opportunity if I was just doing it in German. So that's why I do it in English. Special plans for after university, I think I already answered that one. Are you living in the van full time? Yes, I am living in the van full time. I have been living in my van full time for 2 years, the old van, and with my new van, I already talked about this, I'm living at my aunt's place. But then when the van is done, I'm living in the van full time. How tall are you? I am 1.75 meters. Do you have travel plans with the van in Europe and what? I already talked about this as well. Not really plans, but ideas, visions, dreams. Let's say it that way. Alright, next question. Mr. 510 wants to know, where are you from and where did you travel in your Mercedes van? I'm from Germany, and I grew up in the south, but now I am currently in the north of Germany, around Berlin. And where did I travel with the Mercedes van? I didn't really travel that much, to be honest. I traveled to the south a couple of times in Germany, and I took my van over to the UK, where I did an internship, and I was living in the van full time while I was in the UK as well. But on the way back, I took a little bit more time. I think it was like 3 weeks or something that I took to go through France, Belgium, Netherlands, and part of Germany. Yeah, I didn't really travel that much, but I'm planning to change that with the new van. Do you have a job, go to school, both? Right now, I don't have a job, but I go to school, well, university. I saved up a lot of money before I started working on the van, and especially when I was living in the UK, because I was living in my van and I had something like a normal salary. But before, I had a job at my university and was studying, so I always had kind of a job on the side where I was able to save up some money for this build and some of my travels. What do you study? I already answered that. Are you staying near your family? Will you go visit them for the holidays? No, I'm not staying close to my family, but I am going to visit them for the holidays. Actually, in a couple of days, I'll take a train down and leave my van up here. It's a long drive. I don't want to do it. It's so much cheaper to take a train than paying the gas for it. So I'm just taking the train down there, and I will see them for about a week, and I'm really looking forward to that. Whew, okay. Well, there are a lot more questions that I won't be able to answer because this video is way too long already. Thank you guys so much for all these questions, even more that I can answer. That's amazing. I was kind of worried that I wouldn't get enough questions, but that's super great. Thank you guys so much. I hope you guys like this format and found it fun and interesting. If you did, please give it a thumbs up so I know that you liked it, and then maybe you can do a Q&A again in the future and I can answer some more of your questions. Yeah, but apart from that, this is the last episode before Christmas. So happy holidays, everyone. I hope you have a wonderful time with your friends and family, whatever you're celebrating, if you're even celebrating at all. I wish that you are just having a good time the rest of this December. And yeah, thank you guys so much for watching and subscribing. Again, thank you so much for 1,500 of you, and hopefully more to come, that are watching my videos and are here, yeah, just supporting me in that way. So thank you guys so much. Happy holidays. Have a great time. See you in the next one. Bye. Oh, and I made a list of where you guys are from the comments of this 1K subscriber video thing. And I drew a little map. Yeah, this is the map. And it's really cool. I got one subscriber or person watching from every single continent apart from Antarctica. That's so cool. All of you guys from the US, from the UK. One person from South America was saying that he's watching, and even Africa, in Australia, New Zealand, and Philippines, and India, and a couple of places in Europe. Well, it's so interesting for me to see because YouTube doesn't give me enough information on that. Thank you guys so much. All right, that's the video. Bye.